In the first part of the video, as we see that how Mr. Lorry reached to her father, who was in prisoner, become a prisoner from last 18 years, how she has met, and she is going to express only, if you have any problem, I'm not going to marry with the Charles. I don't mind. If Charles will not be there, another one will be there. So, continuing this thing, when the bride and groom had left on their honeymoon as to Scotland, Dr. Manette fell into a deep depression. Mr. Lorry came round to see his old friend and found him sitting at his bench, working on a young lady walking shoe. The old man did not even look up when his friend came into the bedroom. At that time, they went for the honeymoon in Scotland. And at that time, Dr. Manette again went to the depression, and even he is not able to see that who is coming around him. Dr. Manette, look at me. You know me, my dear friend? This is not your proper occupation. Think again. He tried to reminding that which person he is, but the doctor worked on as if he had not heard. He started working again. What he working? He is going to make shoes again. The next day was exactly the same. The day after that, that was again same. Continuing 2-3 days, this thing happened. He took any food, drink given to him, but he did not stop working. He has taken all these things but didn't stop working. In the end, Miss Pross and Miss Lorry took turns watching over him. Then he started to watching. One evening, Mr. Lorry tried to get him to go for a walk with him. He went for a walk with him so that he is able to talk with them. Will you come out with me, Dr. Manette? He's asking Dr. Manette, would you like to go out with me? It's a beautiful night out. Yes, for a walk. But the doctor didn't seem to understand. Here, doctor is look like that he is not getting any of the thing of him. After the 9th day of disturbing behavior, Dr. Manette was thinner than ever. Mr. Lorry was executed and knew he had to do something. Now they were in depression that Mr. Lorry was thinking, now we have to take some action because he is not understanding anything. He had watched his friend sink deeper into this weakened state for days. They had given him a strange kind of comfort, but they were also a reminder those terrible days in prison. They give a different look while going outside, but they did not forget that days which he spent in prison, becoming prisoner. He had to do something quickly before Lucy and Charles returned from their honeymoon. Now they both got married and they went to honeymoon, and he said that I have to do something now. Mr. Lorry said, I have to do something because if Lucy and Charles will come, they will again get tense that how my father is running. He sat in an armchair next to the doctor and touched his arm gently. Dr. Manette, I need your advice. It's about a very dear friend of mine, and for the sake of his daughter. He gave a sake of his daughter so that he can speak very well. The doctor stopped working for the first time in 9 days. He stopped his work while making shoes. He stopped it because of the sake of his daughter. Go on. It's a case of an all shock. The dear friend concerned seemed to improve and then replaces. The last time has been particularly troubling. Now he is going to turn the previous condition of the doctor. He is going to discuss, but by taking the name of his friend. The doctor seemed curiously interested. How long has it lasted? When it is happened actually? 9 days and night. And how does the illness show itself? In an old occupation to which he replaces when something distresses him. He is continuing his work, which is really shocking. And 9 days and night he continuously worked. A look of anxiety appeared on doctor's face. You spoke of his daughter. Does she know of this replace? No, it has been kept from her. The doctor took Mr. Lorry's hand. Now here, Doctor start replying. That was very kind of you, very thoughtful. I am concerned about the future, Dr. Manette. I don't know what to do. I'm simply a man of business, so I'm asking your advice. The doctor finally put down the shoe. I'm a simply man of business, and he was discussing. The doctor put down the shoe, and I shall offer it willingly. Then again he is returning in a sensible state, and physician concern for a patient had re-emerged. For his daughter's sake, you are added, Mr. Lorry. Of course. I feel that I could destroy the tools of your occupation. The memory of the shock that recently destroyed him may be eventually fade. But I must have your approval as a doctor. What is this occupation? Occupation related to what? It is that carpenter. Yes, make things of wood. Well, whatever it is, you must get rid of these tools. You take away them yourself, and he is not there, probably dependent on the some way. Now he wants that you should remove every tool of your mind. You should live independently. Mr. Lorry left that night relieved and happier he had been for some time. For the next 3 days, Dr. Manette was perfectly well. Miss Pross and Mr. Lorry encouraged him to accept Lucy's invitation to join her at Charles in Scotland. Finally, he agreed, and they all sent him. On the night of the day he left, Mr. Lorry took a saw and axe with Miss Pross holding a candle light the work. They went to Dr. Manette's room like two thieves in the night. They destroyed the shoemaker's bench and buried the tools hall at the bottom of garden. They tried to finish all that memories which he collected as a prisoner. When young couple returned from their honeymoon, so had Sidney Carton returned from his visit to Paris, as ragged, undirty as unusual. He was the first person to visit them, very keen to talk to Charles alone. Mr. Darnay, I hope we might be friends. Charlie looked at him with surprisingly. But we already are, I hope. It is good of you. So say, have not forgotten how badly I behaved the first time we talked. He said that, please forget. So please forget all these things which I have already done with you in first talk. That was a long time ago. I hope you can forget about it. I know I'm useless talk. Who has done any good never will. I don't know, you never will. Here he want to explain that regarded as a friend to be able to come as a part of a future, it would give me a pleasure. If we are going to be a friend, it will be a pleasurable for me. Charles took Carton's hand and smiled politely. You are always welcome here. Carton seemed pleased by Darnay's courtesy. They shook hands and he left. When he had gone, Charles told the other conversation with the Carton, but he spoke of him a way contradicted that kindness he had shown only a minute before. Lucy was very upset at that time, though she said nothing until they were alone. Charles noticed that she was very quiet. What's wrong, Lucy? Charles started asking Lucy what happened to you. Lucy placed her hand gently on his chest and hesitated before speaking. She just placed her hand on his chest, on Charles' body, and feeling hesitation to speak. I think, Charles, that you spoke ill. Speaking, I think, Charles, you will spoke ill of Mr. Carton tonight. Did I? Charles said, I have spoken something ill. Taken aback. I would ask you, my dearest, to be more generous towards the poor man. He's an unfortunate soul who needs a friend. I am sorry, I have been unfair. I never really thought badly of him. Oh, my dearest, remember how strong we are in our happiness. Because we have each other. And how weak he is in his misery and loneliness. He explained that in the time of misery and loneliness, a person feels very weak. Charles held Lucy tightly to him. I will remember it as long as I live. And he said that I will remember your talk till that I find you. Thank you. Have a good day.